What's up, YouTube? YouTubers, YouTubettes, YouTube. Today we're gonna take a look at the Gas One off of Amazon. This is the 8-gallon brew kettle, and it's got the thermometer and the ball valve. Got a little hazy IPA up there running for you. We're gonna unbox this thing, get a first impression, put it together, and see what we think. So stick around, let's get to it. All right, let's see what we got. First, we have the lid, nothing too fancy. Have a little screen for the bottom, the bazooka tube, to help filter out any kind of unwanted crap that gets down there. Looks pretty good. There's a small little wire sticking up, but that's easy. Box. Instruction, don't need them. Bimetal thermometer, cool. Don't turn on your stove on accident. Looks sweet. Has some pretty sweet indicators there. Gives you different temperatures, let you know what's going on, what to do when. Pretty interesting. We'll see how accurate it is later. We'll actually throw it on with a ThermoPro, see how accurate it is. False bottom, sweet. It's kind of heavy, I like it. The moment you've all been waiting for. I turned it on again. There it is, folks. Got a nice dent there. A little disappointing. It's got the marks inside. Sweet. Ball valve. Pretty heavy duty. Looks like it comes with 4 O-rings. So we're gonna have to assemble all this and see what it looks like. Crocs. When you're in the South, you wear Crocs. All right, we'll start the assembly. I lied about the instructions. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. This is the instructions for the ball valve. Not the best. Not the best. What do we make in the pot?
A dad juice.
Dada juice. So back to the action. Here we got the lid. Looks pretty sweet. All my fingerprints. That's cool. You can see inside we have the markings for gallons. That goes from 7 all the way down to 1. It's an 8-gallon kettle. I assume that's going to be all the way to the top lip up here. So if you're going to be doing 5-gallon batches, this is really going to be pushing it. If you're doing anything less than that, in the 2 to 3 or 3-gallon big beer range, that's going to be what it's more or less made for. You can see I've got some water in there, just a basic shot without the false bottom end. I'm doing a leak test right now. So far, so good. You can see over in this corner, there's our dent right there where you see that shiny spot. A little disappointed they got to ship with a dent, but sometimes that's how life goes. Here we have the thermostat. As you can see, the ball valve looks pretty heavy duty. We don't have any leaking from the assembly. However, I will say it does give a little bit of flex whenever you go to open this. I'm not going to open right now because I do have water in it, but just know that you'll have some flexing right around in this area anytime you try to open and close that ball valve. So it doesn't cause it to leak, so that's a good thing. I don't think that's something that you should not buy the kettle for. I just think it's something to keep in mind. The tools that you were sent to assemble with, as you can see, they're pretty cheap. I wouldn't expect them to send name brand wrenches in to assemble a kettle that's $140. They get the job done. They're not the best. You get 2 additional O-rings. That's pretty convenient. The thread tape is absolute garbage. Buy your own, or if you have your own, use it. This is garbage. I use this just to see how it would hold up with a leak test, just to know if you were to buy this kit, it does prevent it from leaking, but I would recommend getting a better brand of tape there. False bottom. Looks like it's pretty well made. Obviously you have everything welded here on the bottom. There is a lot of dead space there. That's good or bad depending on what you want. Personally for me, it won't make too much of a difference. So I'm only gonna be making 2.5 to 3 gallon batches. So for me, that's gonna work out perfectly. But overall, I'm pretty pleased with the entire setup. I think for $140, it's one of the better deals out there on Amazon or any of the big name websites that you're gonna order brewing equipment from. So if you're in the market for a new brew kettle and you're not planning on doing big beer 5-gallon batches, or if you want to just get something really nice for a brew in a bag setup, I would probably say this is a good idea. I'm gonna do a brew in a bag here in the next few days. Once I do that, I'll probably end up showing you how it works out with the brew in a bag and kind of deciding whether or not this is a good idea to buy it. Overall, past my impressions with almost a complete review after one brew under my belt with it. If you're interested in that, stick around. We'll give you that information a little bit later. So, my overall impression of the kettle is pretty good considering it did ship with a dent in it. I'm not a big fan of having damaged or somewhat damaged products, even if it doesn't affect the outcome of how it's used. That aside, the quality of parts seem to be pretty decent. It's not the lowest of quality. It's not gonna be the thinnest kettle you've ever had. It's not gonna be the thickest kettle you've ever had. Yeah? I don't know. I'm gonna keep filming, okay? It's not gonna be the thinnest kettle you've ever had, and it's not gonna be the thickest kettle you've ever had. It does have a tri-clad bottom. The ball valve seems pretty heavy duty. You get extra O-rings with it, which I think is a good thing. After initially thinking that the thermometer may have been a little off, after a little bit of testing with my ThermoPro, it was actually spot on. I didn't realize that I filled the kettle with hot and cold water at the same time, so the temperature that was reading on the thermometer was about 0.2 off from what my ThermoPen was getting. Thermometer is good, ball valve is good, the tri-clad bottom, phenomenal. The dent, not so hot. I'm really excited about getting to use this kettle. I think it's gonna work out really well. My daughter likes watching football. She's really into it. Sunday afternoon, we're going to heat up some water, see how long it takes on the stove top to get up to a mash temp and then up to a boil. We may include that at the end of this video, we may not. So far we've been at it for 9 minutes and we're up to 112 degrees so far. So after about 20 minutes, we're up to right at 152. You can see there. We're in a 152 range, which is kind of in the middle of mash temp, so that took approximately 20 minutes. Not a bad time for a stovetop setup. I imagine it'll be probably the same getting up to a boil, but we'll come back and let you know what that is too. So we're definitely at a rolling boil now. Took approximately 50 minutes to get 4 gallons to a boil. Not bad for a stovetop setup. I will say, here I'm gonna go ahead and shut this off. I'm using gas. It's definitely gonna be a little bit quicker here than it would be if you have an electric stovetop. So if you have an electric setup, maybe this isn't the kettle. You might wanna look at something a little thinner, maybe just move to propane. But for here in Florida, it's not a bad setup. You know, it gets really hot down here, so I don't wanna sit out in 100 degrees and try to brew beer and sweat to death. So for something in the middle of July and August, this will be a nice setup that I can do in the house to do some brew in the bag. If you like this channel, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button. It helps out a lot to get our videos viewed and shared. If you want to see some more videos like this, let me know. If you want to see some of my brew videos, make sure to comment down below so we can see that. I'm definitely going to do some brews, brew in the bags, some different recipes. Yeah, love you guys.
She